Long story short, the history behind this new release.
Jesse, with you, a long story is never short.
Very true.
Right? Yeah.
So
A version of Jesse's.
They planted.
Yeah, okay.
They planted a peach tree on the side of the
This
building.
is going to be the whole podcast. Watch.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'll keep it at 30 minutes. guys.
Okay.
Relax.
Nice, thank you. I like that.
Okay, so back to the important stuff. They planted a peach tree on the side of the building,
The brewery.
and it grew and started giving off these peaches. So then they realized, why don't we take the peaches and make a beer with them? Awesome thought, right? So they made a Chardonnay, Pinot Noir wine, and they made a beer release. Well, there's like 400 bottles of each one using these peaches.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're not sure about what peach actually it is specifically, but all they know is that they planted right
Where's
next
this
to the
at?
brewery, at Jester King
Jester
Brewery.
King.
Where's Jester King Brewery?
Oh my!
Is
You
this
know what?
the is this the guy who?
Stop recording.
Hold on.
Stop
Wait,
recording.
wait.
Yeah,
right
stop
now.
the
Is
recording.
Miguel the one that you were telling me about that's like in love
Yes.
with this beer?
Yeah, he's a
and...
big craft beer guy.
Oh, okay.
And to be honest with you, actually, Jester King is one of my favorites, if not my favorite brewery when it comes to actually farmhouse ales. It probably makes some of the most delicious.
And this is a
farmhouse
guy
ales.
who's been to like how many breweries probably throughout the country?
several.
Dude, you know what? When they came out with that new version of Coors Light, man, I was like super stoked. And
I keep
look at that. He just like totally goes blank.
I keep it
He's
in.
like, wait a minute, hold on, Nick. I'm not doing this no more.
I stick to the
Okay,
global
I'm leaving.
trend.
Yeah, this podcast is over. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. Today, I got my old friend and partner in crime, Jesse Moore.
Woo!
So, yay.
Yay!
And we got a new addition to the movement family here.
Watch out!
Watch out. New market leader for El Paso. Thank God, replacing Jesse. I mean, sorry, did I say that out loud?
Oh, so El Paso, there's hope yet.
There is.
Yeah, actually, they say in the company, I joined movement not because of Jesse, but despite of Jesse.
Despite Jesse, yeah. So Miguel, what is the last name?
Davila.
Davila, that's what I thought it was. But knowing me, I would have been like, Miguel Renteria. And you'd have been like, wait a minute, hold on, dude. I don't know who that is, but he's not here. So Miguel, man, welcome to the episode. Welcome to Movement. First of all, how long you been with us now?
Thank you. Actually, a month already.
A month already?
A month, yeah.
God, dude, time flies.
Goes by pretty
Sure
quick.
does.
Dog years in the mortgage industry, though.
Pretty much.
And how long you been in the mortgage industry?
Actually, going on 16 years.
Wow. Nice, man. Congratulations. Always in El Paso?
Thank you. Always in El Paso.
Wow, okay.
Started actually back in the subprime days.
Oh, don't say that, dude.
What we're talking about?
Dude,
no
Jesse,
one said that, right? Yeah.
Jesse, can you
Cover his microphone?
Yeah, please.
What's subprime?
What's subprime?
I don't know.
Right? I was still playing Galaga.
I'm all. I think I was in 7th grade. I remember hearing something about subprime.
There you go.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you watched The Big Short. That's what it was.
Oh, that's how I
That's
found out.
it. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, we were all doing loans for strippers. It was great.
That's right.
It
That's
was
right.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Miguel, man, you've been on board for about a month. How did you come to know, or what, how did you get introduced to movement? I'm assuming through Jesse?
Actually, partially by Jesse. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He actually contacted me. Jesse and I actually have worked together in the past with in another mortgage company.
All right.
And then, of course, we ran him out of El Paso. And
Oh.
I was threatened, excommunicated.
we
Oh.
basically told me that you move out of El Paso, we take you across the border. Take a pic.
The cartel's
Oh.
going to come get me.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
I was like, I'll stay in Austin, go to Jester King every day. I'm good.
There you go.
I'll leave.
It'll work.
Cool.
Exactly. So
Worked right out.
Yeah. So he contacted me actually, about maybe 6 months ago, and approximately.
You were actually one of the first people I reached out to when I got there. I think week
right.
1 in El Paso.
So it's
in
longer than 6
February.
months.
I called this guy. I'm like, let's go get a beer. Let's catch up. Just to see what was going on.
See what's what?
Yeah, it's funny how fast forward. Here's where it's at. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thanks for that detailed story there, Jesse.
No, evidently I talk too much, so I'm just gonna keep everything
Here
real
we
short,
go.
Sweet,
Someone
quiet.
got butthurt. So, well, you know what? That's fine. Everybody's heard you talk.
Yes.
Miguel, tell us the story, because I'm sure if I have Jesse tell the story, it's going to be like, I swooped in and saved him from the evil lender. And
Well, I didn't swoop in. I flew in.
Yeah, he basically
Flew in.
flew in. He's like, "Let's go have some beers," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go catch up on some old times."
yeah,
And he, we just actually at the beginning we were just talking about all kinds of stuff except actually, work.
Right.
You know, it was actually after a couple of meetings that then he wanted to introduce movement to me, and I'm like, okay, Jesse, I'll listen. I'll give you that much because we're friends. So go ahead.
Right.
You know.
Waste my time. Go for it.
Yeah, why not? You know, it's like I have time. We have beers. Everything is.
He's like he's bought beers 3 times in a row. Go ahead. I'll listen to your hour of.
At least I can give you that much. You know.
There you go.
An hour of your excitement. Go ahead.
There you go. So, what was your initial impression of movement?
My initial impression, actually, after talking to Jesse, was, as they normally say, too good to be true.
Sure.
You know, it's like, sure, Jesse, whatever. It's like, hey, dude, whatever. You know, you need to put some water in your Kool-Aid because that Kool-Aid you're drinking is way too strong.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it was said.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've told people before, it's like, look, man, what I'm about to tell you is going to sound so far out there, you're going to think I should have started with Once Upon a Time. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it sounds like a fairy tale. So call everybody in Texas who works for us, you know, verify, validate, da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and I'll be honest with you, man, when I first got introduced to it, same thing. I was like, oh,
too.
okay. Yeah, you
Sure.
underwrite in 6 hours. That's cute.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, why do I
told him,
need
yeah,
to-
I'm sure you underwrite in 6 hours and you're probably closer than half an hour, maybe.
There, well, yeah. Well,
And then
They're
he's
like underwrite
and then
6
he's-
hours, but how long did it sit in their queue?
Right.
8 days? No.
no.
Everything.
Yeah,
6
and
hours.
then, and then he talked
Less
about the
or less.
671, and I'm like, what is this 671 thing you're talking about? Are you playing dice or something, mijo, in Vegas? Or gambling with the
Not
What is
craps,
that?
man.
Is that
Come
like
on.
Crabs?
your, right? Is that your new area code? Like,
Exactly.
Oh, you got a new number? Okay.
oh, cool. All right.
I'm like, hold on.
Just text it to me.
No, you still have a 915. Where's the 671 coming from?
Right? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, same reaction is arguably 90% of the people that get introduced to us.
Correct. You know, it is honestly, it is very hard to believe when you hear someone, especially with the enthusiasm that he introduced movement to people.
Yeah.
You know, you're always looking for,
But
come on, bud, where's the bud? Come on, don't lie to me. Come on. You know, it's like,
yeah,
tell me. I need to hear more. And then you start throwing him all kinds of questions, and then he answers them. And like I said, to me, I was like, okay, Jesse, well, thanks for the information. I'll consider. You know, I turned around, went home, and I'm like, if he calls me for another beer, I'll just go have another beer. Yeah, that's it. But,
There you go.
We won't talk about business again. And little did I know, I end up actually, joining Movement exactly a month ago.
really,
Yeah.
wow.
I actually made him a promise, as a matter of fact, because I was.
that's
So let me tell you. So
I'm glad he remembered.
when the conversation started getting a little bit more serious,
Yeah.
I told Jesse, I said, as a matter of fact, I said, I am considering other companies. I have been talking to several other companies. And I told him, I said, Jesse, and I remember this was actually around maybe the first week of October.
Uh-huh.
And I told Jesse, I said, I'm not trying to be mean. You're my friend. Enjoy the beers that we had and everything. I said, but let me tell you. I set myself a goal or my mind that by October 30th, I'm going to make a decision which company I'm going.
Okay.
And at that point, we had just kind of start talking seriously.
Yeah.
About the company, about maybe the possibility of me considering movement.
Right.
And I told him, dude, you're way back there. So you had to catch up to all these other companies. And actually, I had actually already narrowed it down to 2 companies that I thought I was actually going to go work with.
Right.
And at that same day, I kind of invited him over to my house to have some beers. And then I pulled.
You guys drink a lot.
You need to in this industry.
Only when I'm in El Paso.
There's 2 things you need when you're a mortgage lender. One is alcohol. The other one is caffeine.
Yeah, there you go. That about sums it up.
Right.
So you invited him over to your house.
I invited him over to my house. We had some beers over there, and then I actually pulled one of the beers that I actually have in my house that I've been aging for several years now. And
Beer, yes.
yes.
Told you.
You
Craft beer.
age beer?
Not all of them. There's certain types of beers actually that you can actually age. Like for example, barley wines, which are normally barrel aged.
Yeah.
You can actually normally what I'll do is that I'll buy one to drink right now, one to age for a year, and one to maybe age for 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
Dang.
Because it will change completely. I mean, the beer that you had the day you bought him versus the beer you had a year later or 3 years later is going to be completely
Okay, so
different.
real quick, right? Real quick.
Yeah, I talk a lot too, by the way, Bobby.
Real quick.
That's kind of what we need on the podcast.
I've always said when I came to Austin, I got really spoiled, right, with craft beer. I became a beer snob. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. So I go to his house this night. I left with temperatures of what certain types of beers should be and where to place them in your cooler and all these different things. And I'm like, man, I didn't know jack about beer. Yeah.
But wait a minute. Hold on a second. So it sounds like, I mean, there's types of beers that are a lot like wine.
Right. Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I just thought you put it in the fridge and serve cold. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Well, the stuff I drink, you put in the fridge, and the colder it gets, the better it tastes.
Well, but since you're a big Moscato fan,
let's see. Yes. Hello.
Yeah. So to make a long story short, because I'm like Jesse, I do talk a lot as well.
Yeah.
So at the end, I told Jesse said, if you ever happen to come that way, far back to the front line, and I end up actually signing up with Movement, I said, we're gonna open this beer.
And he pulls it out, and it's like 24 karat gold encrusted with diamonds.
No, but I actually had it at home since it's actually that one has been aged since 2009.
Oh, dude! Now you got to pony up. Now you got to right when Jesse's probably not going to be going back to El Paso.
Oh no, I'm going back for that.
Oh, you're going
Just
back
for
that.
So it's funny. So we're there at his house and we're talking, and he's like, "Man, I'm going to give you some really good stuff. Like, this you can't find." I'm like, "This dude." I guess maybe this is what it looks like when I talk about Movement. Like, this guy's way too excited about this. Like,
right.
I'm not in it to win it here. And so he pulls out these 2 beers, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, Well, the bottle's cool, so I'm like, I'm going to take a picture." So, like, I poured it in my glass, and I take a picture, and I post it on Instagram. And I'm like, if it's as good as he says it is, well, let's find out, right? So I tag all this stuff and tag the brewery, and I'm like, yeah, I was fortunate enough to taste this. This guy says it's good. What do you guys think? Whatever. Okay. I literally had 20 to 25 messages from people around the country, not even just coming from the hashtags. No friends, nobody I knew. Like, hey, where'd you find that? Do you have more for sale? Blah, blah. Like, people reaching out, and I'm like,
really?
Damn, I guess it was pretty good. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So now I'm following this lead. Yeah, it's good. So now I'm looking forward to busting open the 09 whatever it is, because it's going to be good.
Hey, I'm having some 09 something or other here.
What do you guys think? I'll just take another picture, see what happens.
Exactly.
Right. He's clickbait. Like, that's just clickbait.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
You darn right.
Well, then I'm also going to find out, is he full of it or not?
Well, obviously not, because the first one he posted, like the one he actually let you drink, got you 25.
So now let's see what happens with this one. If it's really an 09 whatever, we're going to find out, because I'm going to post a picture and they're going to be like, oh, that's cool, but they're available down at Circle K or at any your local HEBs.
Right.
I used to drink that, but then I discovered Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Hey, no, watch. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab actually one of those Sol Clamatos that we have across the board. I'm going to put a 2009 label on it here, Jesse. That's your 09
That's
beer
right there, dude. Like,
ignore the red color.
Right? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, no. That was a mistake label. Yeah.
So let me tell you one thing actually he did. When he kind of, I guess, noticed that he was getting close in the race.
Yeah.
Suddenly, for one of our, gatherings, he shows up actually with 4 beers from Jester King.
He told me he was going to do that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. You know what that's called? One word. Closing.
ABC, always be closing.
I closed that night.
Hashtag Giant Teddy.
Well, here's the funny thing. I've never checked a bag, okay? Traveled, almost every week, right, into El Paso. Never checked a bag, okay? So now I've got to check a bag. So I took a Wink box, that wine, I was going to say prescription. That's
Cardboard box?
Subscription.
Subscription.
And so I took one of those boxes.
It almost is a prescription.
I know, right? So I could fit 4 in it and bring them back. So I go, well, then I left his house that night, and he's like, oh, we brewed some of our own stuff. Let me get you some. So I follow him to this room, and he's got like crates stacked with all these beers, and he's like, okay, so each bottle cap top is a different color. I don't remember what's what, but I'll just text you later. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm just loading it in the swing. So anyway, check my bag when I get back to the airport to come home. The one time I check my bag, it happens to be F1 weekend, and my flight home was Friday night.
Ugh.
I'm like, so as I'm sitting there for 45 minutes on my phone, I'm like, this beer better be good, because I'm now waiting an hour to open up something he made, who knows where.
Oh my God.
No, but Yeah, I need to pop those bad boys open too.
need
There's a
to.
barley wine, a porter.
I had
A wheat beer
when we lived in
wheat beer.
San Antonio, I had a neighbor who got into brewing
into brewing.
fun. Beer. And his wife literally bought him like the entry level kit for like a Christmas present, right? And so he did it one time and he got obsessed.
I've heard.
Not even hooked, like I mean like obsessed. And I remember, you know, we would hang out like all the time, right? Because he was like 18 steps away or whatever. So one day I go over and I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I walk in and his freaking garage looks like a laboratory. At this point. Now, this is only after this is after like a few months, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Bro, I got like 4 brews going at one time."
Nice.
And he was like, "I'm brewing so much beer, I got to start giving it away." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "So genius idea." So he brewed all these different types of beer, and he had so much of it. He had 2 of those giant dual kegerators,
The kegerators.
but
nice.
2 of them, so it was like a 4-pour. Right? He looked like a damn bar in his house.
Is that friend here in Austin?
San Antonio.
We need to go visit him. We're not too far.
I'm telling you, man. Dude, and he learned, right? Like he started entering brew competitions. But what he would do is he would brew so much of this beer throughout the year that in October he would do a giant Oktoberfest party.
Nice.
Nice.
Free
That's a good
beer,
idea.
right? Like he had all these
nice.
different types of beer. Come in, just bring. His whole thing is it's beer and brats. So he'd do bratwurst on the grill and boiled and beer and all this other stuff. And he was like, all you have to do is bring your own stein. And I remember, no, this is how dumb I was. I was like, what the hell is a
stein?
stein? He was like, oh, it's a cup. And I was like, oh, so I'll just bring a cup. So I show up with like
With a solo cup.
Solo cup, a red solo cup.
no, you know, I had one of those, you know, like foofy, like insulated whatevers, but it was a plastic cup. I walk in, dude, there are people with steins that are like, I mean, just majestic.
This German ones, like
Just
gold. Yeah.
giant German lids and hand painted, and I'm just like, you know, talk about feeling inadequate. Like, not only do I not know anything of what this guy's doing, but you know, there's all these
You
people.
bring the wrong gear, basically.
I brought the wrong gear, and all the people knew beer that were coming. So it's like they're all talking about all this hop temperatures and all this other crap, and I'm just sitting there like, dude, can I just get another one? I'm just gonna get another one,
I got 2 solo cups here.
right? I'll just keep drinking; it'll get better.
Oh.
But he ended up going on. I think he was gonna get an internship at some brewery in San Antonio or something.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, like he was gonna walk away from his career as like technology whatever for some Air Force base and just pursue beer.
To become a master brewer.
Yeah.
So
that's what he wanted
I got to
to
put
do.
Darren Hoffman on blast.
Huh.
So when we had the Lakeway office, he homebrews, and I
Yeah.
get this kit. I don't even know where it came from, bespoke box or something. I don't know. And so I'm like, dude, I got this kit. Like, I don't have time for this. Do you want it? Like, do you want to take all this stuff and make it? And he's like, yeah, man, bring it. As soon as it's done, I'll bring it all in the office. You know, we'll have a little Friday, you know, afternoon, whatever. Okay. Well, months go by, and I don't even know how I remembered that I had given him this. And I said, hey, did you ever make that beer? And he goes, oh, man, yeah, I ruined it. It just came out horrible. Like, really? Because you were just talking last week about how you were drinking some new batch. Was that the new batch? Oh, no, man. I ruined that like a month and a half ago. And I'm like, but you said it takes 3 months or whatever to make. And I'm like, this dude straight up took my hops, went and brewed him up some beer, and was like, I ruined it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oops.
He's like, oh, man, you know, I'll make some. Don't worry, next time. And I'll bring you guys some. And I'm like, this little liar.
Brutal.
What a liar.
Well, so going back, like, so to my friend, like his first batch, right? It was I think it was a stout, or I don't know what it was, but he didn't have all the equipment he needed to brew it, like, or to ferment it or whatever, to let it set, right? And he didn't. It's something he did wrong, but anyway, he had it in like the big glass thing, like the big glass canister or whatever, and he put it in his bathtub.
Okay.
So he was letting it like do its thing in the bathtub.
In the
like,
bathtub.
In the bathtub, yeah. And so something was off.
ran out of room.
No, this is the funny part. This is before he had the laboratory.
Uh-huh.
So it's in his bathtub, in like his guest bath or whatever. And he said he was sitting there watching TV with his wife, and he hears like what sounds like a bomb go off.
Oh, no.
he felt like kind of like a rumble, like, oh my God, like what the hell?
The yeast doing his job.
Runs to his bathroom.
Run for your life, more like.
Runs to his bathroom. He's like, dude, I walked in and it was like a geyser just shooting up, splashing like all over the roof and stuff. And I'm like, I have a name for it. And he was like, what? And I was like, you got to call that load blower. Right? I was like, it's load blower, man. Load blower, bro.
Nice.
Load blower by Oscar. You know, his name's Oscar. And long story short, he ended up getting that beer perfected to the point where he's won like a few gold medals in like local brewery.
Oh, that's cool.
But he kept the name Load
Load
Blower.
blower, that's legit. That's beer name.
So,
I like
so
that.
like a couple years ago, he texted me like one of his medals, and it was like #1 in taste or something, Load Blower Stout or something. Like
You're all. When should I start accepting royalties?
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
telling
name?
you, bro.
You know?
Like, that was copywritten. No. So anyway,
that's
back
cool.
to you. Back to the business side of this. So 16 years in the industry,
Correct, 16 years.
brother, and all in El Paso, you said.
All in El Paso.
How in the world did you end up in this crazy business?
That's a good question, actually. And it's funny because I used to be actually more in the project management industry for call centers.
Okay.
I did that for about 10 years. And one day I just got tired completely. You know, and as they say, you know, you need to enjoy what you're doing so that it's not considered a job. So I actually ended up leaving my job and resigning. At that point, actually, I was newlywed and had just bought a house. So of course,
So you were broke.
yeah. When I got home and I told my wife that I had just left my job, she looked at me like, "What is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we gonna do now? We just got married. Probably been married for about half a year, and we had just bought a house."
Oof.
Yeah, exactly. And I told her, "Don't worry, I'll figure something out. I'm sure I'll figure something out." And I started calling or talking to some of my friends. And one of my dear good friends, actually, Sal Perales, he actually had been in the industry for about a year with Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was talking to him, he's like, "Hey, well, I think you'll do good in this industry. You know, do you want to interview with my boss?" And I'm like, "Well, what is it that you do?" It's like, "I'm a mortgage consultant." I'm like, "Okay, expand on a mortgage consultant. What is that?" So, "Well, you just bought a house, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Exactly what that person did when they were helping you out. I'm like, "Well, not much, actually." Just kidding. Right?
By the way, wasn't that you?
Right, exactly. So I told him, I said, "You know what? Why not? Like, get me an interview with your boss." And I actually interviewed with his boss, that ended up being my boss also. His name is Lupe Gracia, and it was funny because he actually was the one that gave me the opportunity, and he made it very clear. He's like, "You know what? There's something about you." I said, "I'll be honest with you. We really don't hire anyone without experience, especially for a mortgage consultant position. They normally have to start as a processor, as a loan officer assistant." He said, "But there's something." So if you want the job, it's yours. I said, "Just FYI, it's commission based only."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Hand it over."
Oh, dude, hold my beer.
Hold my beer, baby.
There
Yeah,
we
pretty
go,
much.
see?
Hold my beer.
Wow.
16
Oh,
years.
wait, hold on. Hold my craft brew.
There you go.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well, back then it was more like hold my tequila.
Hold my. Oh, don't even get me started on tequila.
Oh yeah. Here comes the next conversation.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Have you heard of? Anyway.
Clase.
Nice, man. So you just jumped in both feet.
I just jumped in.
Wow. Didn't even know there was a T in the word yet.
Nope.
Ominous. So how'd you do it?
The only thing I knew how to do, and it was because I was in the project management part, was know how to turn on the computer.
Wow.
That was about it.
Sounds about right. Okay. I know a few people like that now. And they've been in the business a while.
Right?
Oh man, that's awesome though. So how did you do it? I mean, how did you? What was your sauce? Just blunt determination. I mean, how did you go out and get
Just determination.
the first deal?
I started making phone calls. You know, I knew some friends actually. There was one friend that I knew was actually a realtor. So I called him and says, "Hey, I'm here. Whatever I can help you, give me the opportunity. I know you're not going to regret it." And then all I did actually, you know, back then I remember I was actually working based literally dusk till dawn, from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening, Monday through Monday, knocking the doors, going to open houses on the weekend.
Right.
You know, just hustling basically.
How long did it take to close the first loan?
To close the first loan, actually, it took me
2 years.
No.
One year.
One year. No.
Make that 3. Wait.
Right?
No, actually, you know, one thing I did back
It's
then.
still pending, by the way.
Yeah,
It's in not ready.
it hasn't closed yet.
Not ready.
We already extended the lock like 25 times. No, actually, you know what? One thing I did too, which, like I said, Lupe was very, very instrumental in it. He helped me a lot. He trained me, and back then, one of the things that I started doing a lot, actually, I started going into the city website for El Paso, and I started pulling deeds.
Yeah.
And I learned how to read the deeds and find out, okay, what interest rate these people have, you know, what kind of mortgage, and then start making phone calls for refi. So actually, the first loan that I closed was actually not a purchase, was actually a refinance.
Who gave you that idea?
Lupe.
Lupe did?
Yeah, Lupe.
That's a smart
Yeah,
man.
he did. Yeah.
Dude, I've never done that.
Yeah. And that basically, you know, like probably my first year, majority of my business was actually refi. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, me too. But mine was like streamline FHA on new construction, getting them out of the unimproved tax.
So when you guys were doing refis, what were the rates? Like 12%? 13?
No, dude, we're not that old.
Early
Right?
80s,
It was
right?
like 8.
Early
No.
80s.
It was like 7, 6.5.
No,
Mid-
mijo.
mid-80s.
No, mijo.
Right?
It was like early 2000s.
Oh, okay. I was in high school. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, it was past the millennium. Yes, bro, I get
Yeah.
it. You're
Just
the
kid-
youngest.
Just
market
kidding. I
leader.
wasn't in high school.
He was still in high school. That was
Close.
the problem.
Exactly.
He was
gra-
24.
I,
You're right.
I graduated in 99, okay? So that's technically early
Yeah, okay.
2000s.
He became a high school fossil.
That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
His pictures in the cabinet, you know?
Legend in my own mind.
Legend in his own mind. His picture's still in the cabinet as like the oldest graduating student. Yes.
It's like class of 2012, and then Jesse with beard and 2 kids.
Yeah.
One
He did it.
He
did
made
it, finally.
Oh my God. It's like when they give those honorary doctorates to rich people.
There you go. There you go.
Look, man, you've graduated in our eyes. We're going to give it to
Yes.
you.
Yeah,
dude.
2 thumbs up.
We're
You
gonna
know
give
what?
it
We're going to give you the A for effort.
Yeah.
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 Oh
And,
my
and to answer that question, so I actually closed my first loan within about almost 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, man. And then just never look back.
Never look back.
Wow.
Just from there.
So at what point did you meet Jesse?
I actually met him. Can we say company names? That's where you go with a beep.
Yeah, no.
Actually, hold on. Let's see. I met Jesse about, 6 years ago approximately?
Yeah.
6 years ago, we worked together at a
Sure.
mortgage company in El Paso.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got it.
That was a fun time.
it sure was.
I'm sure it was.
It was a really good group of people,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't think of course you don't realize that at the time, right? Hindsight's 2020, whatever. But man, that office was hype. I mean, it was like we were all in there all day long, every day, clients in and out, talking smack. I mean, just the works, and that environment was so fun,
It was fun, yeah.
and it was just a lot of really, really good people.
Yeah.
Somehow ended up all at the same place, and man, that's something that we always talk about, that we would love to have back.
Right.
But of course times are different now, and technology's obviously come a long way, things like that. So, but man, yeah, that was good times.
Mhm.
It was fun.
A lot of trash talk back then in that office.
Ooh,
Back
it
and
was-
forth.
Back
Giving
then? Dude.
Giving each other a hard time.
Oh, yeah, that's
About
right. You've
production.
only been here a month.
Correct.
Dude, my business partner for Austin, he's been with us going on 6 months, right? And after about I think right when he came in, we were doing all these competitions and, blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. And there was so much. I remember he told me one day after about a month, he was like, bro, he goes, this company is so weird because, and weird in a good way, because, it's like you feel the love, you feel the camaraderie, but man, you guys are the biggest trash talking group of individuals I've ever,
I haven't experienced that yet. I think it's because I've only been here for a month, so people still kind of holding back.
Oh, no, man, I ain't holding back. I was just waiting to meet you face to face.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad to
It's
hear
game
that.
on now, baby.
That's it, bro. Let's get on.
And he hasn't attended a market leader meeting yet, so
Oh,
he'll feel right at home after that.
yeah. That's the hazing ritual, I guess. We made Jesse stand up and address the group and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And he had already been here a year and a half.
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like how
Two-
many
two
hours
and a
it
half
took for
years.
him to shut up, actually?
Nah, man. He it's funny. You put him on the spot like that, and he'll. It's hard for him to speak.
He'll hide.
He'll hide. He'll push
I
it
don't know
out.
about all this. Hang on a minute.
Well, okay, I'll give you another one. So we were doing we were in these leadership classes, right? and we're in Phoenix, and we had to go out and do this walking, talking kind of exercise to where it was like 3 of us, and it was me, Jesse, and Michael, my business partner. And like we had to share something about, I don't know, something that really impacted you or something like that. Long story short, like legitimately, like Jesse told his to me and Michael, and I was like, dang, dude, that's really awesome. That's awesome. So we get back into the class. Well, then they tell us, okay, now each group or something like that needs to nominate one person to speak or something like that. So I just like popped my hand up and I'm like, Jesse Moore has a really good one. Bro, you could have cut my soul with the look in his eyes.
So
Really?
Oh, he wanted to bury me in the back of that office.
here's the thing. Like there's a couple of instances, like even here at Movement. Like we had, during our summit, we had this culture panel, and they asked me to speak because at one of the Samaritan's Feet event, like I got floored. Like I was in the car just afterwards, just like mind blown. And I've done charity events, things like that before. For some reason, it hit me really hard. So in the summit, in front of 150 people, like I start crying, dude, telling my story. Well, I'm fighting back tears walking through the parking lot with these goofballs. We get inside, and he's like, Jesse needs to tell his story. And I'm like, these guys are going to make me cry again in front of another 100 people. They're going to be like, this dude's weak. Like, holy cow.
And it's being videoed.
Problem?
by the way,
it's on video.
And I'm just like, oh, God.
it's all been recorded.
Oh, yeah, I know
Let me
payback's coming.
Run through this really quick.
I got feeling payback's coming sometime, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Pictures will get released or something.
That's it. So, so the last time I had Jesse on the show, you were the market leader for El Paso. Mm-hmm. Now, coolly enough, Miguel is, right?
Yeah.
And you have taken over the big old city of San Antonio. Congratulations on that one, brother.
Thank you.
Congrats,
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah, really, really excited.
And another announcement I want to bring out on the Big B Mortgage Podcast. Jesse's going to be starting his own podcast
That's right.
for San Antonio area called what? The 210?
I don't know. Something like that. Little, yeah. I mean,
Something like
that's
the 210 real estate show.
He can call it his area code that he tried to shovel down my throat, the 671.
The 671.
Oh, there it is. I'm taking that right.
I'm taking
Log into
rights
my
on that one.
Log into my account and steal the name. That is legit.
Dude, Miguel, you're fired.
You know
I
what?
like
I
that, baby.
I don't think he realized
The
like
671.
that. Wow. I just got a million ideas all at once. I'm like, that was.
There it goes.
Oh, nice. Sorry, Miguel. Thanks. Appreciate it.
And just to let you guys know also, so I'm taking his lead, of course, which
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for. And I'm also very oriented towards doing podcasts or videos and things like that. So I already been working a couple of things in my mind for the El Paso and Las Cruces market. And since Movement Mortgage logo is 2 M's, actually I already have an idea that I'm going to use that logo and I'm going to create what is going to be called El Minuto con Miguel.
Ooh.
So the idea is to do a couple of, like mortgage minutes, but in Spanish. Because, of course, we have a huge, Hispanic population
Okay,
in the El
so-
Paso and Cruces area.
Let's end the podcast right now. It's brainstorm time.
Yeah,
Like we need to
yes,
get in a room
baby.
right now.
Dude, I'm
There's
telling
juices flowing right now.
That is,
I like it.
I like it, man. Like 2 of my guys down in Corpus started their own little weekly video release, and they call it Movement Mortgage in a Minute. Right, and then of course Adam Constantine in our marketing department does the Mortgage Minute, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Does that-
Yeah.
So, dude, el minuto con Miguel.
El Minuto con Miguel.
I like
So you
that.
can use both M's right there.
Oh,
That's good.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you one thing. So actually, I had the pleasure of meeting the Charlotte team a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to Adam Constantine. And one thing I was telling him is that, hey, we need to do something in Spanish. And I told him, I said, as a matter of fact, I have an idea how we can start this type of podcast or this type of YouTube channel. And I told him, I said, you're going to be the person in front of the people. I said, I'll be behind. So we'll do like the ventriloquist. I'll talk and you just move your mouth. So we'll do like that. You know what I told? I told him we're going to call that the Mortgage Milli Vanilli.
no, dude, no.
That's-
What you need to do, because he's such a big dude.
Dude, he is.
You need to set it up to where it looks like you're sitting on his lap.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Okay, now you're taking it too far, Bobby. Okay, you're taking it way too far. I'll just be behind, bro.
I can hook that up. you
No,
know?
that's
I
okay.
am
No.
spinning this audio portion into all kinds of stuff now. Oh my
No. We'll do the Milli Vanilli. He'll be in the front. I'll be in the back.
Yeah, okay.
What day is this podcast
I
going to
don't
be released?
know,
I
man,
need to-
but yeah, you need to play Milli Vanilli music and do the dance, too.
Right?
I'm in love with you, girl. Oh my!
Don't act like you don't know what we're talking about, Jesse. Okay?
Oh, I don't.
I still think you need to sit on his lap.
I don't know about that. No.
You know what? We got to make this happen.
Right? No.
I'm just going to put you in a position where you're forced to sit on his lap, and you're like his puppet. Spanish,
Even if it's not
Spanish speaking,
right? Have it sit on like a box or something, and they can like play with the camera angles to where you look small.
I mean, actually, we don't need that. Considering that he's like 8 feet tall, I'm gonna
he
look
could
small.
just stand
I
there,
can just
dude.
stand next to him. I'm still gonna look small.
Yeah, I yeah. We were at this barbecue in Charlotte one time, and when I met him, and he was standing 2 or 3 steps. We were on this patio, and he was standing on the second and third step down. Okay, and I'm talking to him. He's still taller than me at that point,
You're still
and I'm
looking
like
up, right?
5'11" or something like that. And this guy's still like, I'm still looking up. Like, I think I could take you. You know.
Well, I mean, what like I'm 6'2" or whatever. I'm not used to looking up, like actually really like tilting my head back.
Especially when you were in El Paso.
Yeah. Well, so then I'm talking to Casey 1 minute, then I got to go talk to Adam, and I'm like, what are they feeding him over
Dude,
here in Carolina?
if you added Jake into that meeting, you're gonna have to go get your neck worked on at the
like I got to wear a
chiropractor.
neck brace to corporate just to
He ended up going to a
communicate with some of
chiropractor.
the
just to
team.
talk to senior
He
managers.
ended up going to the chiropractor after that, after talking to both of them.
Yeah, you're
Get a
gonna
line.
adjustment.
Holy cow, I've never used those muscles before.
Oh
I'm in a
my
brace
God.
for 2 weeks when I get home.
That's
I
it.
mean, and I'm like, I'm average. I'm 5'10", but
Right.
yeah. When I met Adam, I was like,
Oh
yeah.
big
"How's the
dude.
weather up there, mijo?"
Yeah. Oh, you'd just be glad he didn't spit on you and say it's raining.
Don't give him ideas, please.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's gonna start snowing in a minute, bro. Hold on.
Right.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, we're very happy to have you on board. So I love the idea of El Minuto con Miguel, though. So you're going to think about doing that like video style or what?
Correct. Maybe video style. Like YouTube videos to inform the community, of course, give them ideas. Not so much ideas, of course, but the things that they need to be able to get into a house. To fulfill that dream of home ownership.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It is pretty amazing. I mean, we've talked about it before, the lack of content in Spanish. Especially in a market like that or Valley, the Valley in Texas. Yes, you have your loan officers who are bilingual and who can, speak with clients. But if they wanted to research anything on their own, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
Yeah. Or even Laredo.
Laredo.
Yeah.
He never told you, right? No, of course
No.
he didn't.
Oh, we don't
Spit it out.
Come on.
Come on.
So we're doing this. I asked him, I was like, because he does, like, dude, there's a lot of things I'll compliment Jesse on, right? Like, heart, drive, determination, the whole 9 yards. Like, that's why he got where he got, considering he started here as an LO, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things he does also really, really well are these social media classes. And I mean, I've watched him do them, and I've seen it, and he
sure
showed me
does.
the content. And I mean, they're really, really freaking good. And so I wanted to do one in Laredo. So I'm like, dude, would you do one in Laredo, man? Like, come down, I'll pay for the hotel, I'll buy your food, we'll go eat the best steaks or whatever, right?
Just trying to pimp you.
Yeah,
Pretty
hardcore.
much.
Yeah.
Not the first time, not the last.
My
Oh, okay.
hand was strong. But anyway, so we get down there, dude, and we get a room full of agents, and we got like a pretty good class going, and he's doing his thing, man, and it's great class, dude. People are engaged, blah, blah, blah. Somewhere in the middle, he just like
I think I just got ahead of myself.
I don't know, but
It was funny.
He was like, and so this could really help all the families in Laredo. And we're like, we kind of paused, like,
Well, it's funny because everybody kind of
What?
Like,
where's that?
did this dude just mispronounce my city's
Like
name?
completely. Did he
Yeah.
just destroyed it? Laredo.
Yeah, and so I thought, like, hey, okay, maybe nobody noticed or whatever. And then like about 5-10 minutes later, he's saying something else, and he was like, so here in Laredo, like, he did it again.
Like
and
again.
It's just like, oh.
Like strike two.
Yeah, dude. So I'm like, bro, it's Laredo. Like,
Laredo.
Yeah, so he
Laredo,
yells it out from the back of the
L-A-R-E-D-O.
room, and everybody dies laughing, and I'm like, Laredo.
Laredo.
What do you mean? What's the problem? I'm half white. White's coming out.
Bobby, you
Yeah.
should tell him this is a problem. Let me rewind.
Yeah, Laredo.
Oh, if
Laredo.
my mom ever hears this, she's gonna be so disappointed.
Oh, dude.
She's
Yeah,
really
I'm
disappointed.
gonna make sure Nikki shares it with her. It's like, hey,
Send
Jesse
it- send
did
it
his
the video.
third podcast with this guy. You really got to hear it.
It's amazing.
And he talked about Laredo.
Yeah,
Whatever
he
that
talks
is.
about Laredo. I don't know what city that is, but yeah,
It's somewhere in Texas, apparently.
things are happening.
my
So we take a trip to El Paso, right? Like whenever, like before he got appointed and stuff. So we're out there together and stuff. There was a moment where I was tempted to go El Paseo just to see if he would call me out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you should tell him El
didn't.
Peso.
Yeah, no. I just sat there looking like shockingly Caucasian in the meeting, right? And like they're all talking and stuff.
Oh, that was the best part of the whole day.
Yeah. So we're having this meeting, with the group. And I look how I look, so it's kind of a thing, right? Like it's an issue. And not an issue, just like I'm not the dude you expect to whip out Spanish, right? And so anyway, they're having this meeting, Jesse's doing his thing, and all of a sudden, like, two of the ladies start talking, but they're in Spanish, and they were asking a question like, oye, ¿puedo hacer eso con eso? Que quién sabe qué? And I'm just like, sí, amiga, sí puede, no te preocupes, mira, ahorita cuando él termine, ahorita te lo voy a enseñar. Dude, you could have like dropped a pin. Like he just stops, sits back and smiles, right? Yeah. Everybody's staring at me like I'm like the albino gorilla in the zoo.
Speaking Spanish.
Yeah, speaking Spanish. It was a trip, man, but it was fun. I grew up getting by with that kind of stuff, so it was great.
Cool.
It's funny, yeah, because it's happened a couple times.
Yeah.
He said something, like, jokingly, like, see mija or something, and so they all start laughing, and they're like, and then in Spanish, look at them like, trying to talk Spanish, how cute. Spanish. And so he tells them, no, I speak Spanish. And then they start laughing again, and then he just busts out, and then you just hear everybody like, what?
Yeah, like that's the part where the record like.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's funny.
It was cool. We've had some fun times, man.
Yeah.
So what's your plan for El Paso, brother?
Great question. Actually, our plan is to be able to increase our footprint, of course. We definitely want to go ahead and be able to hire more talent, hire the right talent, and make sure that everybody knows and understands what movement is all about. Just like it happened to me, like I said, when I heard about movement, I told Jesse, you need to dilute that Kool-Aid, mijo, because it's way too strong.
Yeah.
I'm not believing half of what you're saying, and the other half, I'm seriously doubting it.
Right.
So I'm afraid I'm actually going to start being that guy now.
Well, the thing is I say it all the time. We're always selling a fairy tale. I mean, you said it once upon a time.
Yeah.
Happy. But it's just like, it's so difficult to not get excited about it. And then you're trying to, pump the brakes a little bit and tone it back. And,
you reach that point to where you just don't know, like you don't know how excited you're allowed to be in like the first couple of meetings, it's like, because if you go too far, you look fanatical.
Yeah. Well, especially when you hear about the upfront underwriting, I'm like, come on, dude, everybody's trying to do upfront underwriting. Well, guess what? I actually just submitted my very first file 3 days ago for pre-approval.
Yeah.
Came back with less than 6 hours, and I was like, there's got to be something else. Come on, just hit me. Just send me another email. Tell me there's something else missing.
Wait till you get that first 45-minute approval.
Those are the best.
Yeah,
especially
that's the one.
When there's like it's a full submission with a contract.
Yeah.
And it's underwritten in 45 minutes, and you're like, wow.
And there's like 4 conditions. Yeah, that's when you're really going to be like, did you really look at this?
Right? Like, come on.
Are you sure? Maybe take another look.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very hard to sell. It takes a little while because it's so different than everybody else.
Correct.
It's so different.
But it's
than
good
what
stuff,
you're used
man.
to.
I mean, it's fun.
It's amazing.
It's still the mortgage business, right? You still have your challenges and stuff like that. It's just
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
But
no
it's
means
cool
right.
that everything's done so quickly. Like when you do have those challenges, they can get addressed just as quickly.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And we've seen some deals that we were thankful they attacked really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, I've had
close it now.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man,
dude. I remember one time, and I won't go into the full file, but this guy calls me and he was like, "Okay, bro, I need your help on this file." I was like, "What's up?" This is when he still worked underneath our market.
And I rarely called him. Like
hardly really, ever. So like when he's calling me for help, it's like,
it's important,
dude. Like the countdown is on. It's about to detonate. Like hit the bomb shelter kind of thing. And he was like, okay, so I've got a USDA and I've put MCC on it and I've done this. And I'm like, okay, first off, why did you do all that? And then
because I can and I know how to now.
Because he learned. Because he learned that when he was in El Paso.
That's there you go. Now get to work, white boy.
Because I know how to structure loans. Go to work.
There you go.
Go to work. ML.
I thought for sure, like, oh my God, this is gonna take forever. Like, oh no way, nah, man, they had it wrapped up really quick. It was great, and those files with all those extra layers on it, those are the ones that scare you a little bit. But nah. I tell people, it's like, look, man, I get you can close loans fast. A couple weeks, yeah, cool. But that's like with your stars aligning and,
well, that's
exceptions.
That's the key right there.
And here it's kind of just Tuesday.
Right.
So. But anyway, some people don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks they're not ready. And that's fine. Work with me now, work with me later. Either way, it's going to happen.
Either way, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
as you are now a testament to. You guys were way in the back.
He was way in the back. Man, I was getting ready to pull the trigger.
Dude, and I loved it. And he was like so cocky. He was like, dude, if I come on board, I'm going to open this,
Well, it's funny because I think actually, I was talking to so many people and it was that last day. And I talked to you. I go to Bobby when I'm like feeling sorry for myself, so that I can get this like pep talk, get my game face back on.
Unfortunately, I can't say some of those words on the podcast.
Yeah. He's like, so for the third time that week, I did talk to Jesse. So anyway, so that's when I called you and I'm like, dude, we need to go to lunch right now. Right now. Well, what's the big deal? It doesn't matter. Like, we're going to lunch. And I'm like, okay, bottom line, you need this. You're huge on technology. You're big on this. You're big on that. You're an idiot at this point if you don't come over here, Miguel. And so he's just like, what is this dude's deal? And I told him, I said, come on, man, like enough. Like you need to, I think at that point I'm like, if I can't get this dude to see the light, especially because of who he is as a loan officer, and I know him very well, I'm like, man, this is right up his alley. Like he would just dominate with this process. And I it's funny when you know someone this well and you know what this process would do for their business and everything else, but you can't get them to see it. It's like, okay, come on. Like I'm about to blow a gasket, like, come on, dude. What, am I that bad at explaining this?
I went through that with NASA Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally he's like, all right, and we went to Phoenix and then he's like, and it was interesting. The one thing you said that stuck out probably that I remember of anything you said the whole time. Not that you don't say anything that's important, but it just happened to be.
I don't even know who he's talking to.
Miguel? Yeah, Miguel.
Okay.
Yeah. So, he goes, the interesting thing about coming to Phoenix is many times as we've talked and as many times as we've sat down and as excited as you are and over the top on explaining this, everything you said is exactly what I see here.
Right.
And everything everybody says is consistent. And so I was like, wow, I never really thought about that. That's kind of interesting because we get carried away with telling people about movement and doing all these things all the time. We kind of lose sight of, some of those things from, looking at it from an outside view.
From a different perspective, yeah.
And when he said that, it was like, that was interesting. It kind of put a new spin on things, but made me think about my approach a little different. But yeah, that was good stuff, man. But it was cool to, he's walking around talking to everybody like, I still don't believe it. I'm like, well, you're looking at like 1,000 people telling you the same thing. How many more do I need to bring in the room, dude?
Another 1,000.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Charlotte.
Yeah, let's go over to this other place.
Let's go to Virginia Beach. Okay. But no, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Well, but I think it's, again, it goes back to, and honestly, you obviously did your due diligence. I mean, if you were that far along with someone else, and here comes the horse in the back making its way up the pack, you know what I mean? Like you probably did a copious amount of research, right?
Yeah, I sure did, absolutely.
So, that's the other part of it. Like, if there's anything, if you want to learn about our company, dude, it's on the internet.
Oh, no doubt.
Like,
Yeah,
it's all
over the net.
Yeah, like they do it so well. So, well, dude, it's great to have you on board, brother.
Pleasure's mine, man.
Yeah. So how do people find you, man, in El Paso?
Many different ways. They can actually call me directly.
Don't give out your cell phone.
Why not?
We'll explain later.
Oh, okay.
We'll explain
Just
later.
my website then.
Yeah, you can give out the website.
My website
or
is-
your email.
My email is just miguel.davila@movement.com, and my website is www.davilateam.com.
Sweet.
Yeah, because what happened was one of the very first podcast episodes that Bobby had, I gave out my cell phone number. He had 274,000 subscribers within that week, and like my phone started blowing up. I had appearance engagements, and it got out of control. And so it was like, dude, just make sure that you remind people from now on, not that it would be the same impact as having me on the show.
So the real reason is, right? You
Now
know.
imagine how my movement spill is to
Right?
recruits.
Oh my God. We underwrite in 6 minutes.
I wonder why nobody ever believes anything I say
Yeah,
about
dude.
it. It's so weird.
Bro, so yeah, no. The real reason was I had somebody who did give out their cell phone number, and they got blew up with spam and all this other stuff.
Recruiters.
Yeah, recruiters, spam calls, not just recruiters, but actual
But
spam calls, stuff like that. So yeah, nah. I mean, the emails, we've got so much filtration on it, it can block a lot of that
Absolutely,
out.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, I don't want to be responsible for your cell phone getting blown up.
No, but I do have to say, as far as El Paso's concerned, if there was anyone, that was going to take that position in El Paso, it was him. And so I'm really, really excited for that team. I'm excited for movement there. I mean, I think that's a huge score, not just for me, but for the company and, everybody involved. And so, yeah, man, I'm super pumped to have you on, man.
Well, you got some big shoes to
I'm
fill
pumped
with
too.
this guy, though, dude. I mean, this
Absolutely.
guy,
I agree with you.
This guy brings it. I mean, I pick on him all the time, but it's kind of a.
I mean, I know his size 5, but yeah, they're big shoes to fill.
5.5.
Okay,
5.5.
Oh my God!
Bigger speech.
Could you imagine 6'2"? What size shoe do you wear? 5.5.
That's it. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
In men's.
That's why you're always wobbling. Okay, cool. Now I get it. That's why you
worst balance.
That's why he walks kind of like leaning forward.
Yeah, you maybe need to do some yoga. You need some core strength.
Some yoga.
No, but I'm very pleased to be part of the movement team. Absolutely.
Well, dude, I heard you on the phone
I'm
earlier.
very honored to be able to work hand in hand with this guy. Like I said, I do definitely have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He's done a great job actually with El Paso, considering where movement was a couple of months ago. He's done an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why it was a no-brainer whenever that position came open for him. But dude, I got to hear you on the phone earlier, man, and wow, if that's any kind of a taste of what it's going to be like watching you work, oof,
Yep.
nice,
Yeah.
bring it. All you other Texas and Oklahoma market leaders, watch out, man.
Let's do it, baby.
Hay un chavo que, uy. They won't understand that. It's cool.
Especially Jeff in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Nothing to worry about.
I don't know. Apparently, we hired a Clavo. I don't know. I think that's his name.
By the way, you should have told me that this was just an audio podcast, so so there was no need for me to bring a sombrero charro and my piñata.
Did he? Did you? I've heard you say it a couple times. Do you actually have that?
Absolutely.
Oh man,
Of course he does.
Oh, dude, I know what we're using for the picture. All right, there you go, dude. Is the burro outside too?
Yeah, absolutely.
There it
Piñata,
is.
yeah, you know it.
There it is. All right. Well, hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, tell your friends about us. But no matter what you do, please stay social, everybody. Later.
Bye.
Bye.